Oh, we're live. Oh, definitely we're live.
Yeah, we had to do that to you. Yeah, really work on that fade. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mic'd Up with Mike and Friends. Thanks for tuning in here, guys. We got a bunch of rock stars here with me today to prove to everybody that I'm the world's absolute worst host. I have made absolutely no game plan on this whatsoever. So we're just going to go alphabetical here. I'm going to throw people on the hot seat. We're going to let them introduce themselves a little bit. And I'm going to try to keep up a little bit with the comments on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So, everybody, the point of tonight's chat is to introduce 6 successful women entrepreneurs to my network and to my audience and to my friends. I hope that you all tune in. I hope that you all ask your questions and feel free to comment freely. And, let's take it away. Amna, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm Amna. I am based in Dallas, Texas. And, I'm a creative director and CEO for a global advertising agency called Brandbeat. So we are based all over the world, but our head office is in Dubai, and I'm handling the US part of things. And also, we have an Entrepreneurs Club, where we mentor startups, and also I do something for some nonprofits as well. Just telling them how to navigate now this COVID times, and how they can really get back and get connect with their donors. So and that's about it. So passing the baton to Karen.
Well, hold on. We're not going to let you off the hook.
Okay.
No.
That was the thing.
It was a great introduction, but no. You're still in the hot seat, Amna.
Okay.
Now you're an introvert, and I think I was actually telling Karen here earlier about how I put you on the hot seat the first time, and
Yes.
and you weren't very comfortable, and then the second time you came by. Speaking of in the hot seat, Tina Oliver's checking in on LinkedIn. She likes to put me in the hot seat. I don't know if I ever tell you guys, right? But she's one of the few people that actually busts my chops better than anybody. She actually gets me to apologize.
I think Sia did a good job the other day. I got a little bit of that.
Oh, you watched that train wreck? That was awesome. That was actually, Sia, I have to give you a little bit of credit. That was the most fun I've ever had on a podcast. I can't call this one a podcast, right? Just a streaming, but that was the most fun I've ever had on a real podcast. So thank you.
It was so much fun that I was having a meeting as well, and I was listening to audios at the same time. But I was I cannot leave this. This is fun. I have to listen to the whole of it.
Well, I'm glad. I hope that's what suckered you into coming in tonight. I knew somebody was going to bring it up. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised it wasn't Tina. Yes, I cleaned up a little bit tonight. I shaved. I even got rid of the man hair on my ears a little bit because I'm with 6 women tonight. I'm like, some of these women are going to look good.
You've still
tonight.
got broccoli stuck in your teeth, though.
Do I? Oh, damn it! I knew it was going to be something. I had a snot ball on my face earlier when I did that Instagram video. Did you guys see it? Nobody. I was like, oh, that's great. It was like 800 views, and finally somebody's like, you got a booger in your nose, right? I'm like, no, I don't. Do I? And then I watched the video. I'm like, oh, that's great. We're not doing a pants check. We're not doing it. Back to Amna. Back
Tell
to
her to
Amna.
come on the live. I mean, she's all involved anyway in chat.
She's
So
too smart to do that. She knows me too well.
oh,
So
okay.
I mean, you guys may not come back too. So we'll see how it goes. She's made the mistake before.
This is my third time, Mike.
I'm not saying anything. I don't know if I'd repeat that again. We can edit that out later for you, so that way nobody, we can just act like it was your first time. So brandbeat.com, right? Is that the name of the company?
Brandbeat.co.
.co.
But our website is we are going through rebranding right now, so it's not up yet, but it will be up by next week. Yes, so we are working on that.
Awesome.
But we have this company has been around for over 10 years. I joined them barely a year ago. But so it started from Dubai and then Australia and then some of Middle East and UK and now in US.
Now you're in Frisco, you were saying earlier, right?
Yes,
Which
I
turns
am.
out, Sia kind of jumped the gun here. I was trying to surprise you guys, but you guys started chatting before the show got going. But turns out you guys are both in Frisco, right?
Yes. Frisco is still a big city, even though it sounds like a suburb of Dallas, but it's still Frisco is
What
big.
about 40,000?
I have no idea.
Almost when I moved in 2007, I bought our house. It was 89,000 in Frisco. It's over 250,000 now. It was the fastest growing city in the United States for 4 years in a row.
Wow. First of all, congratulations on the profit of your house. That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm a Californian that bought high in 2007, so
yeah, well, well, so anyway, who's next?
Yeah, let's not talk property prices if we're going to be talking about the Cayman Islands, because it's bonkers over here. Bonkers.
There's no sympathy. You live on Cayman Island. I'm sorry, Virginia. There's just no.
We have to kind of jump to that. Sorry, guys.
We live in Texas. Everything is barely there's no water and everything is barely 30 years old. So
I mean, I feel bad for you about your taxes, but let's talk a little bit about the Cayman Islands, right? That's pretty cool. Why the Cayman Islands, out of all places?
Why did I? Oh, do you know? I get asked this question all the time, and there's no real answer to it. I was a partner in a law firm. I was looking at equity, which basically meant that was going to be my life. I didn't want to do it. I said to my husband, find a job, any country. And he found a job in the Cayman Islands and we moved to Cayman. So I've been here for 18 years now.
So your kids have pretty much grown up there, right?
Yeah. This is all they know. They don't know anywhere else.
That's rough living.
Exactly. Again,
it's really rough.
Yeah. Terrible. So
yeah,
Karen,
I miss Scotland. I do. I'm Scottish.
That's the way it is. No, I think no matter where you're from, right? That's why I'm back in Chicago in this miserable weather. Wishing I was in the Cayman Islands right now because my family is mean and they all moved here a long time ago.
Yeah. No, I miss it, but I wouldn't move back.
You still think about Scotland on a daily basis?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's nice to go back, but this is
after a few days you're ready to go back to the Caymans, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I don't know if we're sufficiently jealous yet, so let me ask you, how far away from the beach are you?
Seriously, you want to know?
Yeah, I asked the question. I want to know. Can you walk outside?
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute. Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't really want to know.
What's a beach?
So Karen here actually went to high school with me. Hi, Karen. Hope you're doing well. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, I could tell people about you all day long, but nobody wants to hear me.
I always think it's interesting when other people who know me introduce me, so I give it a try.
No, totally not. No.
No.
That was a good shot, but we want to see what's going on here.
So yeah, Mike and I've known Mike since high school. That's long enough to know somebody. But one of the things about Mike, and do they know that you have a twin brother? Is that I
don't know what people know about me. I don't know. I don't assume people actually follow me.
Okay.
I mean, I got six
Identical?
successful women entrepreneurs on here, so that way somebody would actually watch.
Identical or fraternal? We got to know that at least.
Oh, you don't really know that? Seriously?
No.
Oh, I guess you just became my Facebook. Okay. So my twin brother and I grew up down the street from Karen and her brother, Steven, literally like a block and a half away, right? Yeah. And she was the all-state volleyball player, track star. Her brother was like big as a house, all muscle and, football lineman. Did he play college ball?
Yeah, at Eastern.
At Eastern, yeah. So he was
only for a year, though.
Only for a year because he got bored smashing people. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, they're like serious, like athletic people, right? And then it goes after high school back in the '90s. We didn't have cell phones or Facebook, and MySpace wasn't even around then, so we kind of lost track for a while. Then I can't even remember. I think we probably did catch up on social media, actually. We finally got our old fart asses got onto social media here sometime around 2008, 2009, got connected again. And now she runs a business with her husband, Chuck. They do massage training. Her husband, I don't know if we'll try to get the video up later, but I watched him give some lady a massage the other day, and my hip felt better just watching it. So, I'm going to seriously, this guy rubbed her hip out. I'm like, wow, all right. So on Sunday, I might, because I told everybody I want to beat Ira and Bowman and Red, who just said hi. I'm going to beat them on TikTok. So one of the things I'm going to do on TikTok is I told everybody I will get in a Speedo, okay, and dance. But I found something better. I'm going to have Chuck giving me a massage, and then I'm going to market there. So I'm gonna make this happen. So Sunday she's having a massage train. Tell us about your school.
Oh man,
you asked me to intro it. You went and stopped. You asked for this. Virginia, she asked for this, right?
So Sunday is an open house for this space that we're going to be teaching at. And so it's a lot of people that are collaborating in space together. So, but yeah, Chuck and I are going to be teaching a lot of continuing ed for massage therapy. And we really focus on physiology. So, and nervous system regulation. He might walk in.
No, I think that you actually wanted me to start talking because you knew I wasn't going to be able to say kinesiology or physiology. What was that?
Physiology.
Okay. I'm going to have to Google that one later.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
Sure. So Chuck published an article back in the day about scar tissue massage and has developed a technique called floating joint, which is really great for it's very relaxing. So it's great for nervous system regulation. And so with the current temperature of the world, it's great at reducing stress and feeling relaxed in your body, stuff like that. So that's, we teach a lot more than just that, but also I am no longer really practicing the type of body work that I did. I was, as Mike said, I was an athlete. So I did a lot of sports massage as well. And I currently have a lot of pain and injuries from sports. So good times, bad times. So here we are. So massage really helped me, 30 something years ago, continue athletically. And then my pain recently has led me to learn more about cannabis and the benefits of cannabis. So I spent the last 8 years formally studying cannabis and its therapeutic value. So that's been really, really fun. So I'm transitioning from a massage therapist working with just one-on-one clients. I mean, aside from the teaching, that's different, but bringing it into cannabis self-care. Because the thing about massage is it's super cool. I mean, I'm very biased to the benefits, but it's one person at a time. And so people are always asking, they're looking for a relief. And so what can they do? How can they support the work from, massage to massage? And if you can't get a massage, how can you benefit from just nervous system regulation and stuff?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about how much that actually goes together, but yeah, it really does, especially when I was fighting and I had all my, I'm sorry guys. I totally brushed over the twin thing. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was doing the MMA fighting and all that too, I used to go get massages. Actually, Karen's given me a few massages. Chuck hasn't yet, so we're going to get to that. But Oh, because I mean, like, if you
Just
go watch
different.
this video, the guy looks like a master masseuse. I mean, seriously, I watched that video, and that lady, she looked all stiff getting down there.
Correction.
Huh.
Massage therapist. And
Oh,
just
my apologies.
and it's just and just to like not to be a stink about it, but to be a stink about it. The difference is education.
The whole idea for behind this show, right, is this
Yeah.
meathead here wants to get educated by women about all my meathead tendencies.
Are we?
So
Is there
I
like a
hope you all
poll?
call
Is
me
somebody
out.
like ding every time there's one?
Yeah,
like,
just
we
flag
drop
me
a
down,
nugget
just
for
speak
ya?
up. I'm not muting anybody. You're all free to tell me to pause anytime. You know what I mean?
It is 6, by the way, though. It's 6 women.
How many did I say?
5, but
5. Well, Nikki just showed up. That's my excuse. Nikki, nice to meet you. I don't think anyone's.
Does that
you wanna
mean we've
introduce
got an
yourself?
imposter?
I know.
What I do, Virginia?
I think we've got an imposter.
Well, I was gonna say, like, look, I know I have a deep voice, but I am female, guys. Okay, thank you.
I'm fully aware. Thank you, Sia.
What are you saying?
I knew I was gonna get myself in trouble. I was just hoping it wasn't gonna be this soon. So, Nikki, being a female entrepreneur yourself and a mother, which is great because it helps with the story a little bit. You actually were just busy doing parental duties, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm late. Sorry. I was supposed to be picking up my child earlier, but she got stuck there late and I had to go pick her up. So,
Well, that sucks, but it's part of being a parent and part of being an entrepreneur. And I'm sure everybody here, but me, because I don't have any kids, can relate.
yeah, for sure.
Well, Sia can't, right? She's shaking her head. I don't know. And
I
so
have a dog.
dogs count. They don't really go anywhere. So, Nikki, what is it that you do?
Go everywhere.
Okay, so I'm trying to, the volume's super low for me. I don't know if I set something up wrong, but I'm having a hard time hearing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
We can hear
Yeah.
you.
Can you go into your settings? And
That's what I
check-
was just trying to do, actually. That's why I'm like so close to the screen. I'm trying to see if I can make it louder.
And also check your device volume. So if you have a laptop or
Yeah.
a PC, check that too.
I'm on my phone, actually.
Then check your
It's
phone
up
volume.
as loud as it can go on my phone.
Oh, put it on speaker
Ha ha. How do I do that?
on your phone. Put it on.
Sorry,
I'm
technical
trying to do it
difficulties.
from memory. I believe it might be on the. Oh wait, well, it depends. What kind of phone do you have?
It's an iPhone.
Yep. Sorry, you're SOL. I can't help you.
Yeah.
Tina. Thanks, Tina.
Usually up on the. Usually you can.
I
do it up on
probably
the-
should have gone on my iPad, but
Do you have a Bluetooth or do you have a earbud to put it in?
I do. So if you guys want to continue your discussion, I can go get my headphones. Maybe that'll be better.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
It's,
So,
it's
Michelle by
Michelle
default.
next anyway because we're meant to be in alphabetical order and the M comes before N.
Well, you guys are supposed to help me here, Virginia.
He's not counting right. He's not
I
alphabeting
didn't
right.
want to be rude and interrupt.
Oh no! So you just throw me under the bus
Come on,
later.
Tina's
Thanks.
just said, "Come on, get your shit together, Mike."
I'm
Tina's
telling you,
Tina's
I'm not
directing
going
you
to.
here from the sidelines.
I tell everybody. I think my LinkedIn does my LinkedIn still say the best train wreck on social media. I don't know if it does, but it's going to after this show. I got proof. So, Michelle,
Well,
sorry
as
about
long
the
as
Nikki
it doesn't
first. I
say
got
my
distracted.
word from today, Mikey. As long as it doesn't say my word from today, that will be good.
Conley, right?
That's the one.
Conley, yeah. So, Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. We know, Mike, when another woman walks in the room, you just get distracted. You can't help it.
It's the meathead side of me. I appreciate you calling me out on that. And I really appreciate you doing that while Sia was drinking wine because that was awesome. I think, it looked like you almost laughed while you were drinking, so I was kind of hoping.
I was actually taking a selfie.
I love it. It's so good.
Okay, I
It's
think
Friday night, ladies. It's wine day, and I was like, you know what? Who live streams and drinks wine? Like, it's the best excuse ever. So yeah, I did selfie
Well,
myself.
I would like to apologize for calling you out, but everybody knows that wouldn't be sincere.
Well, I would be drinking a margarita, but I didn't have time to make it. So I'm sorry you're drinking alone.
Well, it sounds like another entrepreneur story. I mean, like we're always trying to catch up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So cultivate and thrive. You want to tell us a little
Cultivate
bit?
and thrive. Well, since everybody's talking about where they're from, I am also in Texas. I know. Texas in the house.
I didn't even plan this. Well, everyone knows I don't
Yeah,
plan
planned it. Yeah. I'm just south of Houston, but I'm originally from Michigan, so I'm a northern girl at heart. But I'm really struggling in this cold day of 40-degree weather in Texas.
Really? 40 down in Houston, it's 40 degrees?
Yes. Well, it's getting down to 30. So it was a
Really?
high of like 50, 55 today. So yeah, it was kind of cold.
I can't. Well, in Dallas, I could see that happening every once in a while, but in Houston, it's absolutely mind-boggling to me.
It's yeah, weather's just been weird.
I bet traffic is great.
No.
No,
Texas,
let's go
I don't know
back to
because-
cultivate and thrive.
Huh?
I'm trying to be
You don't-
positive here. I have nothing nice to say, so I'm going to smile and not.
Okay.
Here,
I
Yeah.
lived in Texas.
Let's go
like,
back to what Michelle does, cultivate and thrive.
Thank you. Anyway, so I'm a Gallup certified strengths coach. So some men purpose help them get unstuck in life, build better relationships. I help them get to know their inner self, the real them, and live their truth to live their passion.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, now I assume you do that. So you were what type of coach? I missed that. You broke up.
I'm a Gallup certified strengths coach, a life coach.
A life coach.
Yeah.
And then you actually get certified through that. So it's like,
There's different certifications you can get for life coaching. I am a Gallup certified strengths coach. You heard of Clifton Strengths? Don Clifton?
yeah,
Yeah. It's
that's
always
awesome. So you help
yeah.
people find their strengths, and then you help them apply it to something that they can actually enjoy doing with themselves.
Yes. and
Where
to
the hell were
overcome-
you before I decided to make a social media website? You don't work with men, just women?
No, I do work with men, but
Man, I wish somebody had you on a show like this a couple of years ago. It would have been great.
Mike, I work with men and people who identify as men
Awesome.
and women.
And I think, Mike, it's not too late. You can still get some help.
You'd be surprised how often I get that suggestion. Thanks, Amna. I appreciate the encouragement, and I'm glad to know that
From my
you're
heart.
here.
I mean, sincerity.
You notice how she said that on time, Virginia? She didn't tell me later, like after the show, you can get some help. She actually she was brave enough to bring that out in front of everybody, and I appreciate it. Who's next?
I just don't want you to feel bad that you missed the boat. I mean, I think
always missing the boat.
Michelle agrees that no matter how much you think you have, gotten ahead in life, you still can get some help and to get to the next level. So
Yeah.
That brings up a good point. So, Michelle, you aren't always a life coach, right?
No. And I'm also, since we were talking about kids, I have 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren.
Wow.
Grandchildren, that blows my mind too. Everybody's
Grandchildren.
full of surprises tonight.
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Well, they weren't a surprise.
She's looking closer. Seriously?
Yeah, everybody did this.
I want your skin regimen. You're
Ooh,
amazing.
Okay, so
Well, she's
Monet.
using Monet too. You know,
Oh, do you?
yeah.
I sell it,
Monet.
yes.
Monet in the house. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Monet.
Yeah,
it
it is the best. Absolutely.
That's hilarious. So are you still doing the Monet too?
Yes, just not, as you notice, I haven't been active on videos or promoting it, but yeah, I'm still there.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, the hair's still looking fly.
Yeah, it flies in Houston because of the humidity. So
Oh man, I tell you what, it's one of the reasons why I won't say I'll never go back to Houston, but if I do, it's going to be a short visit. The humidity is brutal. Dallas all day. Like that Dallas area, I think has some of the best weather in the country.
Well, it's because Amna and I are here, so I mean we understand.
Mhm. We're keeping it
Well,
cool.
yes, I have a lot of great connections that like to apparently call me out on things down in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So yeah, some of my favorite people are down there. So, what did you do before Cultivate and Thrive and the grandkids and everything?
Well, the grandkids really didn't affect my career too
Well,
much.
yeah, but I assume you
But
did some stuff before that.
I did. I started my career was in when my kids were younger. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I did when I started working. I actually have a bachelor's degree with a concentration in marketing. I did management, retail, fast food, and then nonprofit, and I did
Nonprofit too, huh?
internal audit also.
Internal audit. You just had to mix that one in there somewhere, huh?
Well, it's really interesting because you could at well, I actually was an internal auditor for the church. So you learn some things. But
Well, you
you
learn a lot of things. That's a whole separate show right there.
that
I
is.
mean, we can talk about it now, but I think I'm gonna need to go get some wine too with Sia. I think I'm gonna have to maybe
Yeah.
go hit the bong myself because like that right there. Can we even talk about this stuff? I mean, like that's a book maybe.
But you can tell a lot about a person or an organization by where their money goes.
You know, that's the one thing. Okay, so some of you may not know this, but I've raised a lot of money on social media for different non-for-profits. At one point, over the course of like 3 or 4 years, we raised several $100,000 for an orphanage in Guinea, and it's not easy to do, and you have to know where the money is going, and you have to be able to explain where the money's going. And because I did all this, a lot of people actually come to me all the time with their nonprofits, and they're like, "Hey, Mike, how can we market this?" Right? Well, the first thing you need to do is be able to tell me where the money is going, because if you can't tell me where the money is going, how am I going to ask people to donate?
Yep.
The game has changed a lot since like COVID. I mean, as Michelle said, I have been involved with a lot of nonprofits, which I'm from the from Muslim faith, so with a lot of like mosques and Islamic centers over here. And before COVID, they were all going with this like very typical pattern of, okay, let's have an event and let's call this guy a motivational speaker kind of thing who's going to use some religious text and some other stuff, and people are going to open their wallets and share. And that was all already dwindling, because that's a certain immigrant older population who does that, but the younger population wants to be part of community, wants to like really know where the money is going, wants to know that it's not like any kind of fishy stuff in there or anything, really transparent, really connect with them consistently. And so I think I spent over a decade just butting heads with these organizations, like okay, yes, you have some money right now, it's coming in, but it's not gonna be there forever. Things are changing and you have to change with it. And then boom, COVID came, and now like you can't have events, and you have to. But the thing is, those centers, I mean, unlike churches, churches do, at least to build them and everything, they have these big, at least the Baptist organization or Presbyterian organization, they have funding from there to like build them. But when it comes to Muslim churches, like they have to kind of buy the land and build everything, from donations. So now they have built all these things, and they have some kind of loans over there too. Plus, on top of it, they have to run them and pay people. And now there are no events. So I mean, so more like I mean, I don't want to say it, but I was like, I told you so. So that was the thing. But yeah, but things have changed, and there are a lot of them are really suffering right now because of this.
COVID's been terrible for everybody too, and I tell people about the analogy about when you need a plumber is not the time to make a friend with the plumber. And unfortunately, it sounds like that's the case with the marketing for these nonprofits. I mean, like, look, I'm glad all you women are here with me to not only just educate me and learn a little bit more about you, and hopefully get some connections for you guys out of this, right? But like the biggest thing that you're showing me just by being here and putting it with my ass for a few minutes is that you're trying to grow your personal brand for whatever reason. And so many people make the mistake of not trying to build their personal brand before they need it, right? Like, a lot of you watching and everyone on the panel probably know I'm not the most educated person. Like, I just don't have college degrees. I don't have a lot of paper to show, like certificates, right? But because of my personal brand, and this surprises me all the days of my life, right? I can get a job if I need one simply by saying I need a job on LinkedIn, right? And that's because I took time to cultivate and thrive with my personal brand before I needed it. So kudos to you guys for being here.
Can I make a comment on that? Or actually, no. Can we just finish the introductions? Because we're like 30 minutes into this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Karen's saying in bongs. She doesn't care. So who are we on? I'm not dare saying who we're on now. Are we on Nikki now?
Yes. M and then N.
Yes. I'll be
Yes.
fast. Sorry for my technical difficulties. So introduction. So I'm Nikki. My proper name is Nicole, but most people call me Nikki. I've known Mike for, gosh, how many years? Maybe 12, 15 years, something like that. Well, anyway.
Long time.
Yeah, long enough.
We don't want to tell people how long, you know.
Yeah. So I'm 42. I own a hair salon. I've been doing hair for almost 25 years. I have 3 kids, 23, 19, and 14. It was my 14-year-old that I had to go grab from dance. She normally doesn't have dance on Fridays, but it was a makeup class. And I am across the board, self-employed, my own business owner. And I'm actively working behind the chair. I own the salon, but I have about 200 clients that I see, on a regular basis. And I've been a market partner with Monate, and I know everybody says it a little different. I like to be phonetically correct, and the name of the company actually comes from 2 words: modern nature. So in my brain, Nate, modern nature. So I say it that way because it's just the way my brain is, but a lot of people pronounce it different. But I've been with the company it'll be 4 years in April. And it was something that I was actually totally against. It kept, oh my gosh, I wanted nothing to do with it. Being a professional, a licensed cosmetologist, I've played with so many different hair products and different brands and tried it all. And when I heard about Monate originally, I was like, oh gosh, like this is some hokey shit or what. Can I swear?
You already did.
You did.
Sorry.
This is a Friday night. I think at this point it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter.
I was gonna ask. Okay, sorry. Well, so I was not excited about it at all. And of course, people were talking to me about it. It hit like a real big popularity, I think, in 2016, 17-ish. And I think because I do hair, I think people thought it was a great way to start a conversation with me. And I agree, but I was so against it because, I had that professional mindset that this is just some garbage that doesn't really work and, whatever. And I actually had made a decision in 2017 to walk away from another business that I had, a virtual business, an MLM type thing. And I had built a very strong business. I was with the company for 5 years, but I just kind of decided it wasn't for me anymore. And I was like, done. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
You were actually killing it too. I mean, she really was. So she was doing.
I had a huge team. I earned all kinds of trips and incentives and whatever. And it served its purpose for the 5 years that I did it. The company itself started going in a different direction, and it wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. A new CEO took over. So whatever. So I got out of there and I said, I was not doing this anymore. I was going to only focus on hair. And it is ironic because that was the year I sold my first house after being way upside down from the market crash in like 2008 or whatever it was. So I was stuck there for way longer than I ever wanted to be. And then I made a bunch of decisions that year. Like I was starting fresh, sold a house, bought a house, walked away from a business, said, I'm going to go all in on my hair business. And then these bottles of shampoo just kept like coming up in conversation and literally in my lap. And then I finally tried it, and the rest is history. I worked through the rank plan, the compensation plan, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I just kind of was just doing it, and it snowballed very quickly. I have a really big team. I earned, they do a Vegas trip every year. I've earned it every year. I'm going in April for free flight, free room. It's great. And what I love about it is that the simplicity, because everybody shampoos their hair. I mean, like everybody does. It's not like a, I got to find someone who shampoos their hair or find people
that's
who
literally
shampoo
what
their
she
hair.
does is like she literally does her hair, talks about her hair, and she kills it. And she goes on all these trips. Her and people like her actually got me to Salmonade for a little bit too. I didn't do as well because my hair just isn't.
Well, not exactly people like me, but people who
well, they're not as awesome as you are. No offense.
Who weaseled their way in, to get you.
They got to me first.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I do actually. I did tell you I joined your team again too, and I do need some more products. We'll have to talk about that soon.
Okay.
So I think Sia's next. She's drinking. She's next. So
sorry,
Sia,
I was doing my own drinking game with every time you talk, I take a sip. Sorry, hold on.
Oh, you're gonna be drunk real quick.
I know. I forgot to bring my bottle upstairs here. So, hi everyone. My name is Sia, and if you haven't heard of me before, I'm sorry, but congratulations at the same time. Welcome to this show. No,
sorry, I'm gonna steal that line.
I am a podcast producer, strategist. Co-founded a podcast production firm, agency, whatever you want to call it. We are the easy button for all things podcasting. I'm a fairly new entrepreneur, so this is kind of a new thing. I went and decided to launch my entrepreneur pursuit right before the pandemic, which is great timing. But at the same time, it's also amazing. Unfortunately, the pandemic actually blew up our business because everyone is trying to create their own digital content now. Everyone wants video. Everyone wants audio. Everyone's trying to create their message and personal brand and all that good stuff. So
it's actually a pretty good time. I mean, a blessing a curse turned into a blessing, huh? Because everyone started doing their own podcast.
Exactly. And so, my previous career, I'm not a media person by any stretch of the imagination. I just talk a lot, largely because of 20 years in tech corporate sales. So my bailiwick, my comfort level, my zone is selling technology. I'm your end user from hell, so don't ask me to fix anything, but I know where all the technology fits in the grander scheme of life, if you will. But yeah, no, I mean, the whole podcasting concept, I think, is extraordinary for those that are looking to build their brand credibility, gain recognition, or if you're like me and Mike, just go on live stream and have some fun. But ultimately, if anyone decides to do any level of digital content, whether they use my company or any other one or do it yourself, is make sure that you find your why as you're doing this. I know it's a Simon Sinek quote, but find your passion. Why are you doing this? Who are you talking to? And be consistent. Have some fun. And that's why we're here. I'm just excited for all these extraordinary women and hearing your path. I'm really interested to learn more. Perhaps you could share your story with me on one of my own podcasts that we produce.
I'm glad you brought that up because one, I think it'd be great to give all these women as much spotlight as they can get for different reasons. Because obviously, with 6 of you on here, I can't have you all talk all night long. But Sia does put on probably the best podcast that I've seen in quite a while. I mean, every guest that she has an interesting conversation with her. So if you guys get an opportunity, I have not seen one person that has seen one of her podcasts and said that sucked, which I have a lot of negative friends when it comes to podcasting. So people will tell me their honest opinion. They'll be like, hey, did you guys see this? It was such a train wreck. Everybody loves to tell me all the negative stuff too. So if I don't hear something negative, you can hear it, it's pretty good. And her podcast again is The Mic is Listening. And how can people find that?
Yeah, so on everything, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. And then also I have a YouTube channel. But then also I have my own vanity projects, what I call podcasts, and then we also produce for other clients. So full disclosure, it's not just my show. That's not my business. That one's actually more of I'd say a pursuit to highlight as many people as much as possible. And I cannot help but see that Shafat asked a question about what's.
I was actually going to bring that back up to you when you were done talking because I thought it was a really good question.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Actually, he's my business partner, and in Brand Advertising. So so he's watching the show, and we also.
I knew he wasn't watching for me, so I'm glad, I'm glad that you just chimed up here. I'm liking this guy's comments. That's why I keep flashing them up here.
So yeah, no, I mean, I myself am trying to get on board with the whole metaverse concept. I do believe there is an opportunity to pivot, if you will, or develop different ways and meet. Let me take another step back here. Damn, I shouldn't have had that glass before this one. Okay. What I'm trying to say is this.
At least you still remember the alphabet, right?
I actually didn't. Did you not hear me slur a little bit when I was like, "Hey"?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I'm gonna stop calling you out.
Well, you
gonna
know
call
what it is
Virginia
because
then.
I actually was in my head thought I was after Virginia because my last name is Y. So I was like, "Oh,
I'm not
after,"
gonna
and then-
say I agreed with you there, and I thought the same thing for a second. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
that at all.
Poor Virginia needs to get her introduction. So I'll answer this question real quickly. And we can, if you want to keep talking, we can. Which is this:
Fancy.
I believe any type of digital content is a tool, whatever it might be. Metaverse is going to evolve the way, perhaps another mechanism of which we can receive that data, whatever, if it's digital, audio. I mean, there's so many different mechanisms, but podcasts will always exist because you know why? Radio still exists, right? If you think of old time radio, that's basically what podcast is, but the mechanism of delivery just evolved. It's RSS feed. You're gonna get people wanting to do podcasts on, YouTube. Okay, well, that's YouTube platform, and that's a video
I don't
streaming
think it's
type
going
thing.
anywhere.
And there are those that live stream and they call it a podcast. It's just another tool, another little thing in your little tool belt of marketing to get your content out. So metaverse is going to be very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see how that looks as well. I mean, quite frankly, I'm not the innovative technology thinker, but I do think there is a place for it. I don't know from a virtual perspective exactly how that's going to roll out, how NFTs are going to be, playing. I'm not technical on that. I talk to technical people that are smart enough that do that, and they put them on my podcast. So that's my answer to you, Chef.
Kind of what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah. I don't
Learning from
know,
the greatness,
but I'll get people on that will know. How about that?
Seems like a smart way to go to me. This guy was asking another good question here too. How do you say his name? Amna?
Shafat.
Shafat. So I'm sorry, you want to say it again?
Shafat.
Safat.
Okay.
So compared to others, she actually does a really good job of her production value, and she does a really good job of keeping the conversation going. So I think that's what her unique service is, right?
Sure.
Well, I saw a trailer, when she interviewed you, Mike. So so I'm a big fan already. I haven't.
Well, she
haven't
can
heard
put up with
anything.
me when I'm in manic Mike mode,
Well,
like
I mean,
I
not
was.
to put up, I mean, it was more like mop the floor with you kind of thing.
No. Oh, now.
Between you and I made a mistake getting you and Virginia on the same show here. I can already tell. There's keeping it real, and there's keeping it too damn real. We got one girl smoking, we got another girl here saying the S word. Oh, it's gone to hell.
I haven't said the C word yet, Mike. Come on.
We're not talking about Conley tonight.
Okay,
Hi, Virginia.
okay.
How you doing? You've been so patient.
I'm good. I am a patient individual. That's me.
Yes, I can tell. So tell us about the kickboxing.
Oh, that's a long time ago. Do
you still want to kick people once in a while?
Yeah, on a regular basis, yes. Yeah. I do remember on one instance a particular individual that I worked with who was, I offered that we go settle our dispute in the car park, but he wasn't game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be game because I bet you have a really intense stare down. As a fighter, a lot of it comes down to the stare. I don't know if I want to see that game face.
I'm a female. We're dirty fighters, are we not?
Yeah. Do you know the only person that's ever knocked me out was a female? She was 5'3". She blasted me in my eye, closed it shut. Told everybody it was a basketball injury. It was like some Patrick Ewing dude elbowed me in my face.
Virginia, maybe he deserved it.
Oh, I did.
Do
you know what? I deserved it because I said Conley, your favorite word.
Did you really? Did
you
use my favorite word?
Yeah, I used your favorite word, and I deserved every bit of it.
Nice.
And my twin brother was there to do one of those. You got knocked out.
You didn't.
I was like, I did.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, your eyes already shut. I'm like, is it?
We can share the video with you guys later so you know what the word is. I shared with Mike today that my favorite word begins with a C.
What was that name of that Scottish comedian that was Connolly?
Billy
Something?
Connolly.
Billy
Billy
Connolly.
Connolly.
So you gotta look him up
Yeah.
on YouTube. Because
Yeah,
her
look
favorite
up.
word isn't candy, apparently. So she told me that because I asked her, Karen. We were talking about favorite words, and she says hers started with the C. So I said, I assume it's candy because you're so sweet, right? She's like, no, it's not.
No.
We gotta know. I mean, how do we know?
No. You don't. If anyone's sharing that,
You're gonna get me kicked off of
on this
LinkedIn
tonight.
Is it about see you next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, it's such a good word.
See, that's why you're a massage therapist and not a masseuse.
Okay, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to ask Virginia about her business coaching thing. I mean, because when I was, giving my team instructions to make the post for today's talk, I was looking into Virginia's website and everything. So it was very interesting, an attorney before, and then, all the fitness stuff, and then business coaching as well. So, would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Where did it all go? I've had a funny old journey. So I grew up in deepest, darkest Lanarkshire. So I've been fighting since I was about 13. Lanarkshire is one of the very working class parts of Scotland. My dad was the local hard man, publican, etc., etc. So he taught me to use a knuckle duster and a reinforced pool cue.
Wait, what? A knuckle?
13. A knuckle duster?
Brass
knuckles?
knuckles?
Duster. Yeah. And a reinforced pool cue because
That just makes my teeth hurt thinking about it.
Well, he had pubs, and I used to work in the pubs underage, and he was always worried that something was going to happen to me. So
that is it. It's officially. I want to watch the movie of your life. I really, really do. You've sold a ticket to that one.
It was so good, but no, I'd never had to worry because I've been able to fight since I was a kid. But anyway, I was a smart kid. I wanted to be a baker, but I was a straight A student, so I became a lawyer.
So you can beat me with your mind and your feet. That's great.
I'm great. I'm so great. Yeah, that's me. So I became a partner in a law firm. Didn't like it. Didn't really want to do it. I told you the story. Decided I was going to move. We moved to Cayman. Didn't know what I was going to do. Ended up a lawyer again. I was a lawyer for another 7 years, and I left to set up a protein bar company. I have absolutely no idea what happened, but I started the protein bar company and I built it. And then I ended up I have 18 fitness certifications.
18?
So I ended up, I am qualified in everything from yoga to Pilates to kickboxing, instructing to insanity.
Wait, hold on. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not. How big is the Cayman Islands that you got schools for all this crap? Did you do it all?
No. I had to go off island.
You traveled off island? Wait, hold on. So where'd you go for Pilates, for example?
All to the UK.
All to the UK.
Yeah.
Again, her life is very rough, you guys. Are we not hearing it? She struggled having to leave the Cayman Islands to go to another beautiful island.
Fund me or something for this poor lady,
And Scotland's gorgeous, so
So you actually had a good tip the other day about hanging that everyone's been talking about lately in my circle. You want to share that with us?
Dead hanging.
What?
What kind of hanging?
No, not like hanging, like from a tree. No, I'm talking about like hanging for 3 minutes or something like that. Damon, actually, who popped up in the comments earlier, was telling me that you were suggesting you hang on one arm for a minute, you hang on another arm for a minute, and then you hang on both arms for a minute. Maybe Karen can tell us about that. Does that make sense to you?
He's not let me even finish, has he? He's not even let me finish.
Yeah.
I think Virginia.
I tried. Virginia, I'm on your side. I tried.
All right. So
go ahead. You got all the time in the world now.
There we go. I've lost the plot now. I forgot where I was at. No, I wasn't. I traveled overseas.
She was talking about the certifications.
Yeah, did all my fitness certifications. I opened up a gym. I had a gym for 3 years. Decided I didn't like that. I ended up going back into law. So I have a law firm now, and my husband and I and another man over here in Cayman, we run a financial services business, corporate services business, setting up registered offices, doing director services, anti-money laundering, so dealing with overseas entities that set up here. Do that. And I still run all of my fitness programs. So basically what I do is I help menopausal women manage menopausal symptoms naturally. And I've started my protein bar company again. So
I was going to ask about that.
3 kids. I've got 3 kids as well, two grown up and a 12-year-old.
So the protein bar, right? What made you think of that?
Down to my own eating, and it's a lot. This is a bit of a morbid story. I attempted suicide when I was 18, because I just, for a number of reasons, but I was depressed, I was bulimic, taking laxatives, struggling with my weight, never off the scales, not happy with myself. I had gone to join. I've also been an officer in the British Territorial Army for a number of years. So I went off to join the army, and I failed the basic fitness test, and I was a bit of a mess. So I attempted suicide, made the decision I was going to head off to a nightclub and die on the dance floor. So I took a massive overdose, headed to the nightclub. The steward at the door wouldn't let me in, so I was standing outside, and I decided I wasn't going to die after all. So I phoned an ambulance, went to hospital, got myself sorted out, decided not to take any help, ruined my stomach, so was forced to eat a very clean diet. So in the course of eating a really clean,
ruined your
that
stomach?
one night, Mike, I took close to 3 bottles of paracetamol. I should be dead.
Wow.
So caused a whole load of issues with my gut. So I wasn't able to eat normally. So I ended up having to eat a very, very clean diet. And it was phenomenal. That was the change for me. Having to eat the clean diet, not eating junk anymore, put me on the road to being super fit, super healthy, and I guess discovering what makes us all tick.
So is that what drives you the most?
Back. Yeah,
I've
never looked back. Yeah, absolutely. And now for me, it's a constant journey of balancing. How do I feel emotionally? So after that happening to me, and going on a clean diet, the biggest revelation for me was not feeling depressed anymore. And I reckon that was a lot to do with the sugar, and also understanding my emotions. I think when you get yourself into that place of being really healthy, you can understand where you are from a hormonal point of view. And what I started to discover is that as a female, your hormones are changing on a monthly basis, and it affects your moods. And as you journal it and you note it down, which is one of the things that I was doing as I was eating the way that I was eating, I was trying to track how I felt. I discovered that at certain times of the month, I was more sensitive than I was at other times of the month. And I was able then to eat in such a way that my body felt more fueled. So
that's amazing self-awareness.
But it's something that I think any woman, if she was to sit and track where she was on a monthly basis and then look back on it over a couple of years, she would discover that what I'm saying is true. So I would, as a lawyer, I would book all of my closing meetings. Most of the work that I did as a corporate lawyer was with men. So I would book all of my closing meetings and try and get them at a certain time in the month where I was feeling stronger and I wasn't feeling quite so sensitive. And if I wasn't able to do that and I had to go into a meeting at a time where my hormones were at a place where I was slightly more sensitive, I had my own tactics that I would use to fire me up before I went into a meeting. So I always had Thunderstruck by AC/DC in either a CD or a cassette back in the days, and I would go into the bathroom. I would play Thunderstruck, and I would just stand in the bathroom and just jump up and down to psych
yourself up like you would before a fight.
Meeting. Yeah, basically, yeah.
First of all, I gotta say thank you to Amna for interrupting me while I was interrupting her to let me know that I was interrupting, because that was gold. That's the whole reason why I wanted to get people on here. And secondly, thank you so very much for Virginia for sharing all that. I mean, wow. Thank you. I think that it's really great that you opened up to all of us like that. And I think that you shared a lot of information that can help some people, and wow, thanks.
You bring something up, Virginia, that hasn't been mentioned as much I don't think, maybe Mike is not familiar, but for the rest of us ladies, I bet you we are very familiar, is the fact that when we do in our careers, as we mature, as we rise up the quote ranks in our careers or hit our apexes or getting up there, right? Or start achieving our goals, then we go through, what we call the second puberty. Right. And, when you talk about menopause, the whole perimenopause, the whole idea that, you have to time certain conversations, meetings, opportunities, etc.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to make an important point, and I just got a delivery.
Your boyfriend did that?
So that being said, let me go back. Let me try to go
back.
back.
So your boyfriend's watching this and brought you a bottle of wine?
No, I texted him. Anyway, so anyway.
I had to figure this out. Thank you for sharing.
I know it's bad. I know it's bad. I shouldn't have ADD'd like that. But the point of the matter is this. What is not spoken about for entrepreneurial women, for women that are in executive leadership roles, is the fact that we do physically go through a second puberty. The hormones change. And it's not that, we're trying to be, challenging at times or what. I mean, quite frankly, I get hangry. So I think I've been in menopause state ever since I was born, because when I'm hungry, I'm like really hard to deal with. But I think that's a true thing that we have to address in business, is the fact that as entrepreneurs, women do have a lot on their shoulders, not just mentally, but physically as well. Yeah. I mean, and then add the fact that you guys have adult children, but you had children and you built your career up. These things, no one ever asks a man, how do you manage your work-life balance?
Oh, no, I know.
Hey, how's hormone replacement therapy going for you today?
I mean, like, as a meathead, I wanted to sit here in the muck and hear this. And like, even though I felt, okay, I honestly, like, maybe this is my ignorance talking, but I felt like I knew what I was getting myself in for. So I really wasn't expecting all that. So awesome. How do guys respond to a lot of these? I mean, like, how do we make it worse, better? Do any of us make it better?
No, we are just multitaskers, and we mask these things, and we push harder, and then we get there. But I feel like I mean, it's like how Virginia's story. There's a lot of self-awareness in it, and I feel like even for the rest of us too, we also figured things out about us, or like where we will fit in. I mean, the careers we choose are based on many things, and that is exactly what it is. Okay, yes, we have an idea. So I think unlike guys, I would say, we don't really just have this one amazing bulb shot up in our head and we just run with it. No, we figure out, okay, what can we do, what can we not do. I mean, like, for me, I started off as a graphic designer, and and then like built up my career, worked for a very good tools company and everything, and then boom, just left it all because I'm like, now I'm having kids and all that, and now it's all like, okay, so everything was in a back burner. Okay, once they'll be like a certain age, and once I start going to school, then I'll go back, I'll get an office, I'll get this, I'll get this. But I feel like that for me personally, I don't know nobody, but I'm very strong in my faith, and I believe in God's divine plan. And where we are, no matter whether it was good or bad, it is according to a plan. So for me, I feel like that, like the COVID, it was kind of bad for everybody, for me as well. But at the same time, it just made the playing field level, right? Now everybody's doing Zoom calls. So that I can manage. I can have a Zoom call and run downstairs and like, cook something for my kids and come back and have another Zoom call. And then on top of it, like, through the stroke of luck, I got together with this company and, and so this was what I was missing because I was struggling to do a whole project on my own because, it requires a lot of time to build websites, to build graphics and everything. And I do all that. I know how to do all that, but it's just requires time. But then to get hooked up with an agency, which is a team, and now I have to do just the direction part, right? So even I feel like that, yes, we have challenges, but where we have challenges, I feel like because of our multitasking skills, we are blessed as well. And we find things and then we can, what I'm trying to say is that when somebody looks at an idea, I think for us women, at least, when we look at something, we kind of figure out a way. Okay, how can I manage it? How can I work with it? Like for Virginia, when she had those meeting issues and everything, she did not say, okay, I give up. I cannot handle this. This is something I cannot handle. These men. No, she figured out, okay, there's this time of the month. I have to figure things out in here, and I'll fit things over here. When we have kids, we fit things with the kids. So I think this is our innate skill, and then, of course, as Sia has mentioned, you find your passion, exactly find your why. So that combined with this skill of ours, that's how we shine. That's how we do what we do.
It's a superpower. It really is. The women that I know, like you guys that have children and are still able to manage all of that multitasking, it is so admirable. It's like, what's that British saying, right? Like, something carry on. What's that saying?
Yeah.
We'll have to look it up.
The red background thing, like, whatever.
Blah, 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 and carry on. Like, more or less, exactly. You're going to have an issue, figure it out, move on, and like do the stiff upper lip and kind of like ride that wave, if you will. But it does need to be acknowledged, though, that I think there is a assumption that we should be able to do it as well. Mm-hmm. And it's okay if you can't do it all.
I think that assumption comes from us. And this is where I think the whole thing is, excuse my language, I'm going to say fucked up, because it is completely. And I think that's where it is. The assumption comes from us. We're the ones, because I think right back to whenever I had my second child, I was a partner at the time. I sat in the boardroom and went into labor in the boardroom. I said to everyone on the call, we're just going to finish the call. So we've got these important points to resolve. We'll resolve them. I'll leave the other points with my associate. We did that. I drove to hospital. I had my baby and I was back in work the next day. Now, at the time, I thought I was a beast. Like, yes. A couple of years later, I look back on it and I think to myself, what an absolutely crap role model was I. There am I, one of the few women in the firm at the management level. And what have I gone and done? I've gone and set the worst possible example and been the worst possible role model for all the other women. We suck it up. And I think that's where we get it wrong. We're the ones who create these assumptions of multitasking. I get knackered, just like I know most women do. And then we don't want to talk about the fact that we're knackered. We don't want to talk about the fact that our health starts to suffer on the back of it, because then we're a victim. Mm-hmm. So we end up, it's a vicious circle. Like, well, let's not talk about being a victim. I don't want to admit the fact that I'm knackered here, that I'm exhausted. So I'll just pretend that I'm not, and I'll just move on. And we were talking about like menopause earlier on. When you go into menopause and your hormones begin to get depleted, you combine that with the exhaustion that we've got, multitasking, hiding the fact that we're exhausted, hiding the fact that we're multitasking, and all we're doing is creating an even worse mess for ourselves. Frankly, I think we just need to come out and we just need to say to people in a working environment, wherever else, get out my face. I'm having a bad day. Because what they're going to say to you, if you're in an office environment and the men are there and you just turn around and say, get out my face, I'm having a bad day, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to turn around. We always do the work. We always get it done. We always put ourselves exactly where we want to be. We end up creating, see, I could go on about this forever. I think we created the glass ceiling ourselves. by holding ourselves back and saying we can't get to this level. By getting to a certain level and then saying to ourselves, it's going to be so much work. I'm going to be completely out of my comfort zone by stepping into the next level. So I'm just not going to do it.
I don't think it's well. Maybe
I had to
from my
put on my
perspective.
sweatshirt because I got goosebumps to that. I don't know. I started getting cold. I like literally, I didn't want to be rude. I'm like, oh, dude, don't put on your sweatshirt. That's so rude. I'm like, man, that's giving me goosebumps. I mean, really, I wasn't expecting all this. The last thing, I'm sorry, Sia, for interrupting you on that. Wow. You were saying, Sia, I apologize.
No, I do think this is a conversation that I don't think you fully understood when you got us on here.
I wanted to have this.
All of us could talk very at length on this, and it's a very real challenge. And it's not, and I don't know if Shafat, you're hearing like what we're saying on this is there is a expectation, whether it's upon societal expectations or women amongst each other, put on each other,
the self-talk. You guys were talking to me about self-talk.
And it's something that is unique to the women that need to work it out amongst each other, which is okay, support one another when we are in our certain roles. Like you're right, Virginia. Like I remember back in my corporate days, I was all about suck it up. Okay, someone dies, show up, go to the funeral and then go back to work 2 days later, kind of, not 2 days later, 2 hours later, right? Did you cry? Cry it out, go in the bathroom, put your makeup back on, go see your client again and smile and nod and say, oh, but your concerns are more important than mine. And that is something that society, I think we do need to address. But I also strongly feel like women judge each other. Like, I'm so glad that today, none of us, I might put makeup on, but that's a different reason. I just respect you, so you don't want to see that. But I didn't put on my suit that women do, right? Like none of us are putting on facades. And I think that's a big difference that hopefully in the future we keep shifting towards, where there's value in who we are, what we provide. And yeah, I mean, you may want to be bathing occasionally because no one wants to see that. But
well, I am learning more stuff here.
But it's less about that Instagram look, right? And that's another topic that we were talking about. Mike, Asherbrain, and I were talking about this. Is I do not want LinkedIn to become an Instagram social media platform. I don't care if Virginia, you're awesome. I mean, you at every opportunity should flaunt your body because it's part of your business and your brand. But there are women who flaunt their body and they're like, and I'm, a traveling nurse. And you're like, that's not on brand. Like, I don't understand why.
I don't want to do that. I don't.
You don't need to. Yeah.
Fundamentally opposed to. I do not want to get on there and flaunt my body in a nutshell. Sometimes I do it. I feel right outside of my comfort zone. I know that if I want to sell the fitness, for example, I need to do it. But then I feel as if I'm lacking integrity because I train like a beast. I've always done it. For another woman to go out there and have the kind of muscle that I've got, she's going to have to train like a beast. Most women don't want to do that. So why am I going to go on there and I'm not going to go on there and say, look, this is what I look like, and then say, oh, here's a 20-minute workout that's going to get you that look, because that's not true. And there's where I struggle with Instagram.
Well, you know what? I think you do a much more of a positive impact than you realize because, I was a damn near professional fighter, somebody who could cut weight, watch my weight, and watching people like you and Ed Carmody and a few other people talk about nutrition the last couple of years has made me really think about how I messed that all up, because had I been better at taking care of my nutrition and not starving the engine, but rather fueling it correctly the whole time, I probably would have had much more muscle mass and done better too. So, and that's a 22-year in the MMA game meathead that you're educating here on how to eat better. So if you can educate a stubborn guy like me who thinks he knows everything on weight management and everything else, I think that your impact is probably far greater than you realize. And I don't think there's anybody here who's going to say that you shouldn't be showing off those guns on LinkedIn or anywhere else, because it's awesome.
Tina backs me on that one all the time. She's always telling me to do it. I don't like doing it though. I mean, I'm an introvert, like you'd said about Amna earlier on. I'm an introvert too.
A few of you are here. That's kind of why I got you on here. Nikki, she's not always so quiet, but for sometimes I feel like she's a little bit more introverted, and she does these daily videos and everything else too. And am I wrong?
No, I say this all the time. I'm really good one-on-one because I do hair and I have one client in my chair, and I'm really good one-on-one live. Put me on a platform, on a camera. I don't know where I'm looking. I'm always trying to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to look. Make sure I'm not. I'm a hot mess. I hate the spotlight on myself. I love what you said. Is it Sia?
Yeah, like see you next Tuesday.
Sia, I love that.
Well, not like that. Not
no,
like that.
I know. No, no.
Damn it,
I just
Virginia.
wanted to make sure I pronounced it right. Like that's a big thing. Me and my team, we've been strategizing about, because the Instagram stuff you talked about. Like I'm like, we are not these skinny mini, super tan, super, face, everything, show my body on Instagram. Like that's not us. That's not what we do. That's not what we're going to do. Cause that's just not us. I can't be anything but just me. I don't have the skill set to like try to be something I'm not. So this, like, I've joined different challenges, and Mike and I have been talking for a long time, and like I'm just to the point now. I'm 42 years old. My youngest is a freshman in high school. I'm getting to the point where I really need to, like, it's going to get to the point where I can really focus on like me and my goals, like 100% at some point soon. And I just think that, like, screw it. Like, let's just do it. Let's talk. Let's meet people. Let's grow. Let's support each other and whatever. What do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose. I mean, so
there's all to gain, right? Because anybody who's just wanting stuff like that, I mean, that's not gonna last. I mean, Virginia has like a great body right now, but she's creating this legacy, like these videos and courses and everything, which are going to be there, like, even when she's not exactly like, she can choose to like not,
she's going full Betty White. Let's not give her a time date here. She's going to be around forever. We're not going to time stamp her, but she's got another 40, 50 years here. This lady, she'll be out kicking long after I'm gone. I'll tell you that.
I totally agree with that. But what I'm trying to get the conversation to is the fact that, like, building a business, building a brand, and this is exactly our why as well, to like build something, when we have the strength, when we have the energy, and when we can do it, and then that will just last for a long time. I think compared to everybody, my kids are young. I mean, my youngest is 3 and my oldest is 16 and 3. So I have like 5 in that range. But it's, for me, my kids are part of my why. Like, I want to create something. I want to be something where what they look up to and be like, oh yes, our mom did this, and she was part of this, and she helped this many people. So, so this, it's more than, making a Instagram post, which has a life of what, like 48 hours, something, barely.
Yeah.
And, just whatever likes and everything. Okay. And all these people who are like, okay, you know what? Okay, you can get brand deals and everything. Okay, why get brand deals? Create your own brand, create your own thing, have something that you can, you can call your own. And it is possible, and it is like, it starts with networking, it starts with the community, and it's like we have different clients. Like these days we're working with a skincare brand, and again, like, we sit and think about, okay, how will this be different from a million other skincare brands, right? It's all about that. How Nikki is doing Monad is different from how so many other women are doing that, right? And that's why she's successful, because you have to, even in a game, like, you have to figure out, like, what is that one thing where I can shine and where I can be different and I can, do that, and exactly like when we are working with clients, it's what you pick on things. And sometimes, we don't take some clients just because they have like a very, they just want to be like some other business. Okay, no, I just want to have like a website just like this one, or I want to have an Instagram page just like that one. We're like, okay, you know what? No, sorry, then you and I cannot work, because you want to be like somebody else, but we are in the game of making somebody completely on their own, totally like attract, being a magnet, that they can attract attention on their own without like going to different people. But yeah.
Anna, I totally agree. I mean, that you cannot be anything other than who you are.
No, I agree.
I have seen clients who start as one way and they sell me a great story of who they are, because as you guys all know, you do business with people you know, like, and trust, right?
Yeah.
And that same thing applies with any time you create any kind of presence, whether it's personal, professional brand, whatever have you. And so, Nikki, my suggestion to you, and we can talk this offline, because you've got something, and I have an idea that I think would work with you as well with your personality. But it's this: if you try to be anything you're not, I promise you, within probably your third, maybe fourth, if you're really good, recording of whatever content, your true self is going to come out. And you can't lie. This is why so many people, and I want someone in law enforcement. Can anyone help me introduce me to someone that's in law enforcement? You can see liars like this over time. Like, it can be very quickly. It could be in body language. It's in subtle behaviors.
And people don't realize how they do it, right? So I
And
left
they
this
don't.
group chat here. I don't know. Some of you guys are probably in this group chat that I was in, right? And I'm not going to call anybody out or make it weird, right? But like, people don't realize like everything you do on video, everything you do in the feed, every comment, every post, everything you do is painting that picture, right? It's branding you in one way, right? So if you're one way on Cia's post and you're another way on Virginia's post, right? And people like me who have no life are going to be online reading all this stuff 24 hours a day. I start to see that in different things. And like, there's that old saying, like before the internet, that if you knew 7 people, you knew everyone in the world, right? Well, now if you have 7 likes, pretty much everybody's seen it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is, right? And a lot of people, they really try to change who they are from one post to the next, and it just doesn't work. One thing about Nikki, she, a lot of you guys don't follow her on Instagram the way I do. She is so authentic. She will sit there and she'll start as a hot mess. No offense, Nikki, right? And she's like, "This is how I put on my makeup. This is how," and she goes from hot mess to like totally glamorous in 10 minutes or less, right? And what really makes her stand out is not only does she explain how she's doing this and why she's doing it with her skin type. Like, I'm a guy and I feel like kind of embarrassed I know so much about this, right? But I'm secure. Like Kenny G and Bob and everybody else here, we're talking, we're sitting here at the microphone, so I want to get this out there. I'm secure, right? But she does a really good job of explaining it to even a meathead can understand why she's using the foundation, why she's doing the eye stuff, right? And what she does really well as a female entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, and people can use her as an example, is she is consistent day in, day out, whether she has to do whatever for her kids or for her other business. Like, her business was flooding, like she had a water crisis in her salon, and she's still making videos about how she's getting ready, and she's talking about her crisis, and she's talking about all her stuff. And I don't even know if she's just doing that because she's really excellent at marketing, or if she's just really just talking in the camera, because she gets this dude, right, who knows he's not going to see any skin or anything that dudes usually look for in social media, right? You got me watching you learn how to do makeup. I could probably put makeup on my niece now because I've watched her do these shows like 100 times, because she's talking about life, while she's doing her makeup, and she's giving her stuff and she's making it relatable. So not only am I learning like makeup techniques, but like I'm learning like a little bit about what's going on in her life, which to me, that's why I get on social media, is to have these conversations and to pick up what I can about people, because that's how you identify who you like and who you don't.
Hey, Mike, a little eyeliner doesn't hurt anybody. Just saying.
Well,
I tried to cover it up a little bit. I got some lotion issues going on. Thanks again. Everyone's calling me out.
May I add one thing that I think, Nikki, like if I don't know anything about you, I just met you tonight, right? The fact that you do those life tidbit things, our professions are what, right? Like, hi, I'm C, I'm a podcast producer. Okay, no one gives 2 rats ass, right? Like, what they really want to know is who are you? Like, I don't like eating durian. Okay. I'm probably gonna piss off some people. I'm probably gonna get some cheerleaders, but it's that weird connection that you have, that emotional tie-in that you can have to someone, that you can relate to them. We all do a job. We all do a task. Okay. It is this. Then what else do you do that's going to provide me value? I actually have this conversation all the time with folks that are doing their podcasts or creating digital content. Again, not necessarily my bailiwick in every.
Is there streaming,
aspect.
not podcast? I get you.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it, Mike. But the thing is, this is, Nikki, if you are adding something to your business in a way that I know you do hair, I know you'll do makeup, I know you'll make me look pretty, right? But the thing is, if you add life nuggets to it, that's why that whole there's a culture of hairdressers, in certain communities where they teach life lessons to each other, and that's the vibe. They go to the places for salons to get that. Right? Maybe you become that for LinkedIn, and it's nothing that you aren't already doing. It's just a tool. Like I said, podcasting is just a tool. Recording yourself and posting it up is just a tool. The mechanisms of delivery might change with technology, but you yourself aren't changing.
And she does it so naturally. So,
and
like,
that's,
I mean,
girl, you're a natural. I can tell. Look at her now.
I don't want me to pump her up now, right? But not only do I want to learn a little bit about makeup secretly, I know Kenny's gonna laugh at me about that, right? But I really like to watch Nikki talk on her Instagrams, because it helps me feel more comfortable to do these things. You know, I mean, it really, watching some of you guys do your videos. Michelle does a lot of videos I watch. Sia, obviously, you've been a big inspiration, help to me, right? And I don't think Nikki has any idea. Like, Sia, everyone tells you you're awesome. I'm sure Michelle hears it all the time, right? And no offense to Nikki's friends or her family, but I don't think that they tell her how awesome she is at some of that stuff.
I got a lot of haters.
Wait, assumption much? Dude, don't.
Well, I watch her, so I know.
I got a lot of haters.
Yeah, she deals. I have some haters, which you guys know, right? And she has a surprisingly amount of haters too, and which surprises me, right? Because while she's doing her hair and so, I mean, she's always presentable. She's always professional. She's always got the girls tucked away. You know what I mean? Like,
but here's the other value that she has. And I'm sorry to cut you off. Sorry, Mike.
No, it's all right. I've been doing it to you all night.
I know. Well, we do it to each other. We also talk a lot off site. So sorry, guys. But Nikki, here's the whole thing that I think is really interesting. LinkedIn, this is where I think you can turn what is perceived as an Instagram thing. With your industry, it can be perceived as superficial. There's no two ways about it. But for you, it is, how do you give tips for maybe better presence for Zoom? Here's some makeup
100%.
tips. And by the way, the fastest growing makeup segment during the pandemic was male makeup. They branded male makeup specifically for men to feel better about themselves, to put some powder on their face, to not look so ghastly, etc. So I think I could see you in a great position to say, hey, LinkedIn advice tip number 2, done, and move on.
Fillers and Botox and those fat burn injections have gone up in men, because of all this like Zoom meetings and FaceTimes and everything. They all want their chin as well. So.
You notice how my chin's down here, right underneath my name?
Well, okay, look, as a podcast producer, I
didn't do that.
I would scold you for your angle, Mike. Yep, there you go.
Well, you know what? I didn't know all you people are going to keep calling me out on all these things. This is a bad idea.
So many of Nikki's videos about makeup. Maybe you can watch some photographer's video about where the light should be, when you're recording a video.
Well, my buddy MJ Plevon likes to remind me to look at the camera and not fidget so much. Karen, you're doing a lot of laughing. I thank you for not chiming in on this Mike hate parade here going on. So
there's no need to chime in on a Mike hate parade. I think it's good. I think, the conversation is awesome, and it's like I'm bringing my business into the social media land, and so it's exciting, it's scary, all those things. But I'd actually like to just, Virginia, like your story, like everybody's story is so cool. Right? And so many things were cool about it. And also just appreciating how you like to, I guess, even show your own body off, and just acknowledging that that's not going to work for all sorts of women.
But you know what? It gives power to people, doesn't it?
Well, it can, but what if it's a woman who used to look like that and doesn't anymore? Or what if it's a woman who might, despite all sorts of things, could never look like that? And then has that judgment for her own self. And so it's
amazing how life works, right? There's
It's-
always two different sides to the coin.
yeah, it's amazing. And I think, women, we do so many things for ourselves and others, usually others first, and then maybe ourselves after all of the other things. And so that self-care aspect is a thing that, like, I talk about often, and how it affects physiology, because when we continuously burn ourselves out, it has an impact, a global impact on our body, and it inhibits our immune system. And nobody wants to inhibit their immune system now, or ever. It's not doing anyone any favors. But a thing, just this happened recently, so maybe I'll just share it with you guys. Is so I was at a market, and I was one of the things that I do is I fell in love with bamboo apparel a few years ago, and so I made a bulk purchase with a company called Bambooty Body Gear. And so, being in chronic pain, like the fabric is soft and it feels good, so it helped reduce pain. So but that's a different conversation. Anyway, so I'm at the market, and this woman was explaining that she was looking for an item of clothing for her daughter who was really muscular, and I'm 5'11", and not that I was really muscular, but I was very much an athlete. And
she was like Olympic quality athlete there for a while. She really was.
I subbed on an AVP team, but I'm an All-American college track athlete, and the high jump, the triple jump, the hurdles. I mean, so I've earned some things, but
there was a point in time when she was able to jump over my head, so don't let her fool you.
So, but I'm not that anymore, and my spine has things that might not ever let me be that. And so I also went down. I was on a lot of medications that I gained 80 pounds in 6 months. And so that can be really difficult I was an athlete, and I always identified as an athlete. So to not be able to identify as an athlete, and this woman looked at me and she's like, no, she's muscular.
Oh, yeah. Women, I don't think women and men realize some of the harm they cause with a quick thing. I've probably done it 50 times tonight to you guys, so I apologize.
No, but there was also one of the things that I also do with clients is I have coached track and field. So I've coached strength training with athletes over the years, and I've worked with clients and about corrective movements. And there was a personal training studio that I did body work out of for many years. And there were clients asking for, this type of movement collectively. And we talked about it. And when the trainer said, well, maybe in 6 months, and let's you go through a training regimen so that, because I don't think people are going to want to look at you as the model of what this could look like. And it was what was fucked up about it. I'm going to say fucked up.
No, I was going to say, agree.
Yeah. Is that I think maybe Sia, you said it about waiting until we're ready. Now, all we have is this present moment. Nothing is promised to anybody tomorrow. So self-care can start now. Acknowledging our strengths, our values, what's valuable about us, what inspires us, our big whys. Those are the things that feed our fires. And the hormonal imbalance thing. How many times you have your period? Oh, go hide in a dark room. I used to work with women who had fibromyalgia and MS. Mm. And it was they had all sorts of drugs, modalities, things that were supposed to help them. And their doctor's but ultimately just go curl up in a dark room, by yourself. And it's supporting each other. Each other. We are many hands make light work. And so women judging other women. And I loved it. I did put on eyeliner. I'm not going to lie. I don't normally wear makeup because I just haven't needed to, and fuck it. It's also been empowering because there was a time when, you know, like I used to do massages and like full makeup because that's what the client wanted. It's like, you know how stupid this looks? I'm a sweaty mess. Anyway.
I think we've had that discussion before too.
Yeah.
About this.
So anyway, sorry about the tangent, but I just wanted to acknowledge that like women, I mean, and humans, look, like we're dealing with stuff. We're dealing with stuff. Who's having an easy time of it all the time? And so, you know, the more we can support each other, that.
I'm really glad that I got you guys on here because like everyone's gonna think I'm a genius because you guys are all rock stars, right?
No one's really thinking
I'm
that.
I'm really glad that I did this because I'm actually learning a ton. And I knew as a man, right? Like you guys deal with so much more than we do, right? But it's amazing to see how much like you guys all have like a similar, you know, feeling about this, you know.
So
yeah, I think like just listening just now to what Karen was saying though, I sometimes think that like one of the reasons I don't post up body pictures is because I don't do anything for the aesthetics.
Yeah.
I just happen to look the way that I look because of the way that I eat, the way that I move, the way that I train. I don't do it for the aesthetics. So for me to go sticking pictures out there, I'm promoting the aesthetics. And that's where I don't feel authentic.
Can I interject something here? Right? I still think you're that girl with the knuckle busters, and you just want to be able to kick the crap out of some dude like me if I step out of line. And you know what terrifies me is that someday I'll see you in person, and you'll remember sometime I stepped out of line. So please give me some warning and a little bit of a head start if that ever does happen, you know. Because
and you're probably
Virginia's doing an amazing job in like, you know, just from her looks, and you know she's giving you a message, and she's never going to do it actually, but you are scared. So
you know what, the thing I like about Virginia, besides the fact that she's like very intelligent, right, and she tells you exactly what she's thinking, right, she's open and she's honest about her story, and I think she does that despite the fact that it's painful to her still. Like you can almost see the pain in your face when she's saying it. Like for a moment there, I thought you were going to get really super emotional, and I wasn't quite prepared for that. And I think that you kind of do that despite it to kind of like, you know, show other people it's okay. Like you can get through it. And for that, I respect the hell out of you.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
I think it is.
I'm sorry. I just got a vision of her. Mike, she's going to feel bad as she kicks her ass. Don't get me wrong. She'll probably feel really bad about it, but she's still going to kick her ass.
I agree. Like, as a cage fighter, like, I'm a wuss. Like, my friend Sherry Lally, who's a sponsor for my site, she fell on the ice and she busted up her hand, right? And just the idea of that makes me just, like, cringe. Like, I literally had to put my sweatshirt on because I got the goosebumps and chills when she was talking earlier, right? Like, I'm a big sissy despite the fact I'll punch you in the face too. Like, you know, I mean, I think that she's a lot like me in the fact that she can be hard ass, you know what I mean? But like, I think that her emotional well is way deeper than people realize.
Honestly, after today's conversation, never having actually physically met any of you yet, you guys are really amazing. And here's what I'm super impressed. I'm new to Mike. Mike, you and I met what, 2-3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, not long. But we've talked a lot since then. I know. Well,
okay, that's a different issue. But here's what's really cool about all of this. And everyone that's actually texting and joking, and I'm really, my ADD is really making me like look at these chats. So I'm so sorry if I keep looking.
No, it's all right.
But SPN is what really brings this all together.
Oh,
and this is where I'm very critical of like organizations that think they can bring community and whatnot together. I will give you credit, though I think you're crazy at times, Mike.
A little bit.
The SPN people that I've met have been nothing but quality. And that right there, and having this conversation, which by the way, I know, ladies, we can go way deeper and darker if we want to, or keep it lively and you know, not scare Mike off for the first.
No, you know what though? Honestly,
we're
gonna have to get us on Spotify or something someday soon. You're gonna have to up my game with your podcast.
Well, I want to edit this really much, so we'll talk later.
Oh, we can, because
no, but that being said, ladies, you guys are amazing. Like seriously, I'm really impressed. Like Mike, this is what SPN's all about. And
If
I
somebody
think we
doesn't
need to
give her a
emphasize that.
movie deal, or Virginia a movie deal after this, I
Yeah, you
fail at
want-
life.
I
No,
know
I think
people.
there is.
She earned a movie deal at Knuckle Duster. That's all I gotta say. Grew up in a pub with Knuckle Duster, and I mean a lawyer in the Cayman Islands. I mean, come on, like I want to know people. I want to
No,
make this happen.
there's one that I've wanted for years. This is going to make you laugh. I'm the cat with 9 lives. When I was 11, I was knocked down by a
You were
bus in
where?
a car. Knocked down a bus. A bus ran into me when I was 11 years old. And it ran me into the path of a car that was overtaking the bus. And I was thrown up into the air. I just happened to have been at the shop and I had bought a box of Kellogg's Rice Krispies because I was going to mix them in with melted chocolate. The Rice Krispie box landed up and I had flipped up into the air because the car hit me at speed. And I landed on top of the Rice Krispie box on my head. And the Rice Krispie box concertinaed and broke my fall. So I was
I'm gonna go buy some Rice
unconscious.
Krispies.
Well, I know I want Rice Krispies to give me a deal.
Yeah, we should have talked about this. Hey, Sia, make sure you edit this too, okay?
I know peoples that
Yeah.
we're gonna. Oh my goodness, we're gonna do a story
Okay, so
on you.
now we're gonna have a
Did you
movie
save
deal out of
my
this,
life?
and we're gonna have a promotional spot when your head hits the concrete or the Rice Krispies. I mean, that's all right. Well, she wound up me on all my
I should be
stories for
dead.
life.
I was saved by a box of Rice Krispies because it concertinaed and broke my fall, and all I ended up with was hairline fractures in my skull, as opposed to my skull being splattered all over
Rice
the road.
Krispie treats.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
so-
I want them to sponsor
If you
me.
guys see me on YouTube dropping some watermelons on a box of Rice Krispie treats later,
No, don't
okay?
do that. That's gross, and don't do that again. Oh, we don't need that visual.
I'm sorry,
Ooh,
I
we don't
did
need that
it.
visual.
I didn't talk about the hairline fractures. She brought it up.
No, don't watermelon that.
fracture and like her almost like having her head splatter on the road. The two different things.
What are you? What is you, Mike O'Connor Gallagher? Or like, what's going on here?
You can't say you want to watch
Very,
it.
very, very, like guy thing, right? You tell them, okay, you had a baby. My labor was like this many hours on the bed. Yeah, I broke my ankle like when I was playing football. Okay, no, not the same thing.
No, it's not. No. So, Nikki, how you feeling about that story?
That was off at a tangent there. Completely off at a tangent.
Virginia has blown my mind. This whole thing, everything, I'm
Are you gonna go
just
get your kids some knuckle dusters?
my mind is just blown. That's incredible.
I just want to add one thing. I think, like, I was thinking about, like, what Sia just said, like, that Mike is able to gather all these amazing women, and I'm like, being blown away by that, definitely. But I think that SPN, even though I still have to fill out my form, and I got stuck
I
on
was looking to see. I was getting resentful. I was like, she's never on my site. I was like, no.
No, I got stuck at the first question, which was like business owner or this, and I was like, should I go with this? I have to ask Mike.
I know
which
a
one
guy who can edit it for you whenever he wants.
Okay, awesome. Then I'll just go with whatever. But I think that SPN gives this feel of like nothing flashy, just like very authentic. Okay, simple people, like simple idea that we just want to connect. I mean, I have nothing up his sleeves, and I'm not like running around and pretending to be something that I'm not. So I think that's what brings authentic people towards it, and people are like, okay, yeah, I can try it out and I can see how it goes. But for me, definitely, like it was Mike and Ara's conversation. They're like just completely like like talking like college boys. Just okay, you know what? No worries, no nothing, no pretending I'm this, I have this much, that much, but just having a very authentic conversation, and that's what drew me toward them. But I think that this is why we are together with this thing, that we're all like not into joining kind of weird those comment pods and whatever, or just just trying to buy some kind of fake following or something. And I think this is one thing about even Instagram and everything as well. I mean, I don't have a big following over there, but what I love is that the people I follow or the people who follow me, we have good interactions. I mean, and that's what matters. And if this is what even the brands are looking for now. I mean, when they see a huge like 100K following, they're not even looking at that. They're looking, okay, how authentic is their following? How much of the influence they actually have on that following? So things are changing slowly but surely. And I think maybe we had to wait for this pandemic for people to realize that, yes, on Zoom meetings there can be kids running in the background, for men to realize, oh, how hard it is to work with kids around and everything. So I think
that's a great point. Hold on one second. So sorry, I don't mean to interject here to stop you right here, right? But that is such a great point. We have to stop here because I think that pandemic, as much crap as we all want to throw on it, it did have some good. And I can tell you that every man that was listening to this podcast or streaming event, not podcast, sorry.
I'll make it a podcast. Don't worry.
Oh, you'll make it a podcast. Good. I'm sure every man listening said, she's got a point, because it does. Like, I don't even have kids, but I live with my brother. So like his kids are, more, and like it's that way. I mean, it surprises everybody. See, I was waiting for you to drink something.
I was drinking, and then you said I live with my brother, and I couldn't.
Not romantically.
I'm sorry, you guys.
What's funny about that?
It just, remind me
You're
of.
so judgy McJudgy.
Look, what you just said reminded me of. So I live down by the river, and I'm a motivational speaker.
My brother and I we did cuddle in a van by a river not too long ago overnight once because we got stuck in the snow. But he doesn't want me to tell that story, so we'll just pretend like I did.
Oh my God, you're too funny. No.
So
now
I'm glad I amuse you.
So,
Mike, are you trying to wrap this up?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can be,
well,
but
can I tap into what?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce? Is it Amna?
Yes, Amna.
Okay. Amna. Okay. I had to get really close. The text is so small, so I didn't want to mispronounce your name. But
because my big head takes up too much of the screen.
No, it's just I got a really bad eye.
Everyone got small boxes.
Only one's
now.
really good. One's really bad. But I just wanted to jump on what you were saying about with jumping on Zoom and kids running in the background and just what we've been dealing with the last 2 years. So if it's okay, I just want to share, and I'll do a condensed version. So I lost my dad very suddenly and unexpectedly in April of 2020. And so we all know COVID happened in March of 2020. So the last time I physically saw my dad was in February for my brother's birthday gathering that we did. And that morning I was recording one of my videos that Mike was talking about. I was getting ready and whatever. And I was just doing my thing in the bathroom. And I got the phone call about my dad being rushed to the hospital. And, because I have a team and because, I market shampoo and skincare, consumable stuff that people use on a daily basis. I broke down. My dad was my person. He was my everything. And I lost my mom many, many, many years ago. So, the wound has healed more, but losing my dad was, devastating for me. I couldn't function. I'm the reason I'm talking about this is because of the good that came out of the whole COVID situation. My salon was shut down during that time. So I physically could not go to work. And for me being self-employed and, if I don't go to work and do hair, I don't get paid, I don't work for anybody. I don't get a paycheck. And, so when after I lost my dad, I shut down physically, mentally, everything. But my team, in March, actually, we had the best month we ever had. And then in April, we surpassed that. And that was because we were able to do Zoom. We were able to do virtual events. And even though I physically could not be present, my team lifted me and carried me. And we had the best months we ever had during the heart of COVID and during all the uncertainty.
To watch you lose your dad, I remember watching your team get more active in my feed. And I remember seeing them because I'm in a group that she has for her Monet stuff, right? Because I like to support her as much as I can, right? And to see the way that her whole team came together to support her, and not only her team, but a lot of her friends and family. And, we all bag on our friends and family because they all can be a little bit more supportive with our businesses and stuff, right? But they're still your friends and family. And during this time, and damn it, you got me emotional and teary-eyed and goosey bumpy all again too. So I'm glad I'm already wearing my sweatshirt thanks for James.
Good thing you're not wearing any eyeliner.
Yeah, if I was drinking wine with you guys, I'd be a bubbly mess right now. I'd be crying, I'd be playing with my hair, like you guys. You know, I mean, just watching that team though, it was like it was a reminder that, you know, even though we're all wrapped up in our own stuff, right, and we all constantly kind of walk around with our heads up in our own butts, you know, not paying attention to everybody else, it was a reminder that people will stop and they will help you. So that I wanted your team to know, if they watch us later, that I saw it, I acknowledge it, and I think they're awesome for doing it.
Yeah, it was amazing. So they're definitely, and that's what I wanted to say. There's definitely some good that came out of it. And I really like the idea. I think, Sia, it was you, just being normal. I think people are so afraid to brand themselves and just branch out and do what they want to do because they're afraid of the judgment and, you know, not the lack of perfection and being Instagram perfect and all that bullshit that really doesn't matter. Like, I think that something like SPN and, you know, what your mission is and what you're trying to do, that's why I'm such a huge fan and a supporter. And I've been running next to Mike throughout this whole idea he's had, and to get to this point is incredible. But I think we're on to something, because people need real, and people need relatable, and people need something where they say, oh, I could do that too. Because I look at these Instagram model people and I'm like, I could never do that, nor would I want to, because it just seems too unrealistic to me. It seems too Hollywood. It seems too perfect. And I am so far from that. So I love this. And Mike, thank you so much for inviting me and bringing me on board to meet these people. This is awesome. This was awesome.
Mike, this is a series that I don't think you realize. We'll talk about this later, but this is a series you should start doing.
Well, I don't know if you know this, right? But I actually already told, like, Cindy Cohn, she's going to be on the next one. She wanted to really badly be on this one, but I'm like, you know, with how much I already interrupt, if we get one more person on here, I'm going to be interrupting 7 people instead of 6, and it's just not going to go well. You know, I'm just happy I got the math right that time. You know?
No, absolutely. I think the ultimate message for this evening is all ships rise with the tide. Is a saying I always say, is this: we're all in business, we're all entrepreneurs. I think we've all seen levels of success in our own, whatever career path that we've all taken to get where we're at today. We didn't do it on our own. Sometimes there were times when you had to, you know, pull up your own pants and, like, you know, put it on and all that good stuff, whatever that saying is. I am not an idiom person. I try, but I just don't get them right. Sorry, guys. But
that's why we get along.
But it is this, like today, I just feel like tonight, so many of you guys, and we didn't get enough of the stories. You can't, by the way, with 6 people, get enough of our stories of who we are, what you are, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you know the biggest reason why I did this, right?
Well, I don't try to pry into your, like.
All right. Well, first of all, I got the podcast queen on here, right? So I feel like if I get these people on here talking, because there are a couple of them are introverts, Nikki, Amna, Michelle hasn't said a word in forever, right? I feel like if I get them to talk, some people will see them in their brief moments of glory, right? And think, I got to learn more about this person. And I'm hoping everybody that's commenting, I'm hoping everybody sees these videos, reach out to connect with you guys on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and maybe say, hey, I want to know more about Amna or Michelle or Karen and what they have to offer, and get a podcast out of this. Like, my whole goal, right? Like, obviously, like, I'm here because I want to get bigger, right? But, like, you know, I think the best way to do that is to actually listen to what the people that are selling these ebooks actually say. Like, buy into it, like, be authentic, right? But also help other people. I think what better way to do that and to introduce you guys to our network or our audience and let you go from there. But, like, if you guys meet up and connect and do business with each other and you push me to the side, like, I did my job.
But it's not either. It's not black and white. It's not either or either, right? So that's the whole thing. Is like
nothing is
at the same time. And I would also like to add, like, you know, I'm in the business of branding and marketing and websites and logos and all that. So if any one of you ever need anything, you know, I'm here. So, you know, to help you out.
Oh, I'm going to put all your website links and LinkedIn links and SPN links in the YouTube descriptions, and then I'm gonna actually go do my digital marketing. Like, all right, to talk a little bit about why I'm doing these, right, is not only am I trying to introduce you guys like live now in the show and to the people watching, right, but some of you guys know like I'm a mega nerd with like marketing stuff, right? So I'm gonna go put this YouTube video out there and I'm gonna go share it to 2,500 different blogs. And I'm going to go embed it in 2,500 different blogs. And then I'm going to go hire some people to share it 4,000 times on social media, especially Twitter, Tumblr, and everywhere else, right? That's the whole point. So when I go share this with 50,000 or 100,000 people over the next 4 days, they see all your links. And if they see something that they like that you had said, they can find it easily.
This is where the power of someone like networking, when you find a right artery and vein, not commenting on anything other than Mike is like a vein that's being offered to us, I think, right? As people in general, just this is what's fun and this is what makes the networking make sense, right? Where if you're willing to put forth the effort, like it's equitable and Mike is offering a great thing. And it's not meant to be a shill because I'm not trying to shill for you, sir.
No. I appreciate it. But like the truth is, right, when I first got started in social media and digital marketing, nobody told me how to do it without wanting to sell me something. And I felt like the person that was trying to sell me something was an idiot. And then like they didn't know what they were doing. And I don't want to sound like a self-absorbed, pretentious asshole. But at the same time, like I've been literally dozens of people. I've been the hot fitness models. I've been the movie stars. I've been sports athletes. I was a ghostwriter for a few years and you know what I mean? I've built brands on many different social media channels because I took the time to figure it out and went through the hard knocks. And now I look at it like this, right? Like Nikki wouldn't let me go around with bad hair. She'd be like, Mike, you know, we got to talk about that hair, right? And Karen wouldn't let me go around smoking bad grass. She would be like, Mike, you know, that's terrible weed. You got to get some better weed. Just like Sia wouldn't let me act like a doofus all the time on my live stream by saying it's a podcast, right? Like friends help friends, right? So I feel like if I got this big social media network and people actually follow me for some godforsaken reason, they might as well, you know, meet my friends and, you know, make it easier for them. And at the same time, you know, if I can make it easier for you guys, that just, it fills my heart up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I love you.
And I think it's definitely appreciated.
Well, I know you're shy, Virginia, so I got to give you all the help I can get.
Yeah.
Guys, my kids are banging my door, so
I know we all are.
Well, we kept you talking for a lot longer than I thought we would, so I appreciate you, Amna. I hope you have yourself a good night.
Thank you so much for doing this, and definitely, like, you know, we're reaching out to you guys. It was a conversation, you know, and so yeah, you know, I had to find out where you live. We shouldn't be that.
We live way hella close by. If you're in Frisco, it's not that big of a town.
I think no, it's a public forum, so we should not share addresses right now. But that's
why I'm not saying a word. Frisco in California is where we live, people. Frisco, California. Okay.
Frisco, California.
Well, bye, Amna. I hope you have a good night.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Michelle, are you going to be sticking around for a little bit? Because I feel like you've been a little bit quiet, so I'm going to try to get something out of you a little bit here.
All right, what do you want to know?
I don't know. I mean, like, what are your thoughts on all the things that were shared so far tonight?
I mean, there's a lot of thoughts. A lot of great things were said. A lot of nuggets could be taken. My biggest piece that I like to offer is that we all need to see people for what they are and what they have to offer that's unique to them. And not just as men or just as women, but just as human beings. I think once we start valuing people for who they innately are, the world's going to be a better place. And we need to recognize that although we each have our talents and are good at things, and I think this has been said a couple of times tonight, but in a different way, that we are better when we're together, when we can work together, because we each have our unique value. And together, we need each other. That's all there is to it. We just need each other.
I think that's why people are starting to get along and network so much with SPN and with IRA and on LinkedIn and everywhere else, right? And I think that's another thing that's great about the pandemic is because it's kind of forced people to get tired of the same old, same old. I mean, think about it. Like everybody's like dealing with all this extra crap on their plate, right? And everybody's frustrated a million different ways from Sundays. So nobody wants to like buy into the bullshit on top of that.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that oftentimes we miss out on as people is that we don't really get to know ourselves, because from the time we were young to the time forever, we're always told who we are and what we should do, and we're not really given the opportunity to know who we are.
You're 100% correct. And I think that a lot of us are in our 20s, 30s, or even our 40s before we really start to realize that, you know. And
Mhm.
I think a vast majority of people are at 35 years old when they start to
Mhm.
think, you know, what have I been doing? You know, I was listening to little kids should be told, you know, seen and not heard, you know, my whole life. And I've been, you know, told to stand in line to my, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
when you get to a certain point, you start to realize that you really have that freedom to be who you are and say what you want. Everyone's like, oh, I like older people because they just tell you how it is, right? I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but how do we speed up that process, right? Like to where we can, you know, enjoy more of our lives by getting through all that crap a little bit sooner? Why do I have to be old?
Well, that's where we can make a difference, because we can start teaching younger people that now.
That is such a life coach thing to say.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I would
Also,
endorse you for that one. You
yeah,
deserve a
yeah, along those lines of a strength coach, is that when we look at people, especially when we're younger, if we start when they're younger and look at what they naturally do best and build on that, people will be happier, they'll be more fulfilled, and they'll be more of who they naturally are, instead of trying to fit the mold of what everybody thinks they should be. And it's not necessarily something that comes easy or brings happiness.
You know, here you were quiet the whole show, and then you come out, you know, fist a swing in here with just a little bit of a prodding. I'm glad I asked. Thank you.
Well, thank you for asking.
Oh, you know, I'm glad, and you know, I think you're too polite or something, right? Like I don't know what it is, you
Oh,
know.
it's past my bedtime. We'll just say
Is it?
that.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you us keeping you up.
And I
Yeah,
didn't get
you're
my
American. What
margarita,
time is
so
it over there in the Cayman Islands?
Oh, almost 11 o'clock at night.
11. So you're only an hour ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
we're not keeping you guys up too late.
No, good, but we'll have to go shortly. Beginning to flag just a little bit now.
No, thank you so much. By the way, ladies, I know I talk a lot, but honestly, everyone that I've heard tonight, you guys are so extraordinarily compelling with your areas of expertise, your areas of interest, and what the value you have and provide to your clientele. It's inspiring, and I'm grateful to meet you guys all tonight. You guys are pretty rock stars, and Mike, I don't want to build your head up and ego more than it needs to be.
That's why I had to get a haircut so my head didn't look any bigger.
But seriously, this was really good. And ladies, I'm more than happy if you want to be a conduit of promoting yourself. I would be honored if you would allow me to be a conduit to get you out there. So
I tell you what, she is one of the best one-on-one podcast people out there. I don't know how many people have actually heard me say I don't like podcasts. I don't like showing up for them. But if she has a podcast with any of you, I'm definitely going to be there and be live in the comments, like my friends Tina, Kenny, and Bob, and Ryan Jackson, everybody else that showed up tonight. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything that Sia said there too. And I'm definitely going to check Nikki out, because I don't know how to put makeup on. I need somebody to show me how to do it.
Well, she tell you what, she'll do a good job. She'll have you using Monet though, but she might even buy you protein bars. Maybe you can come up with a win-win here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's where I have issues with that stuff. Getting anything into Cayman is anything but easy.
Oh, I bet. Good luck with that.
Yeah, this was awesome. Sia, I would definitely take you up on that. That's awesome. Awesome for you to even offer. I think that's a very generous offer. That's really nice.
Look, Mike pays me for everything, so everything I'm offering is Mike's paying, like funding in the back end. I'm kidding. I'm
These
joking.
people
Oh,
know
I
I
was
don't
gonna say,
have any
sign
money.
me up if Mike's paying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know I don't have any. Everybody knows that's a lie.
Like, there's a reason why. Wait, ladies, I just want you to know, I'm almost done with my bottle here, and I'm just gonna go on record and say this was so much fun.
It was
Mike,
fun.
you're onto something that I think, like, I don't even have to be on camera because I know I talk a lot, but dude, this is a really great series.
I've already
that we
told
really
you
should do.
it can be Mike and Sia and friends any time of the week because I think you're just great. So I
Well-
appreciate hey, you guys. Believe it or not, I actually when we had Oakland on the other day, I froze, and her and Oakland saved my bacon. So like I will forever sing their praises a lot. So I appreciate it.
If you guys don't know Oakland, he's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army. Thank you. I don't know what the sayings of the military, so sorry, but he is a
You've
recruiter
got
now
to get him on your
as a civilian.
podcast too.
No, yeah, I already got him scheduled. So
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that guy's cool. Yeah.
yeah, no, he's awesome. No, anyway, ladies, good night. So clearly, Mike does not know how to close out a live
I'm
stream.
terrible.
So I'm going to coach
Yeah.
him as we're talking, ladies. So what
Yeah.
we're going to do is say this: is pretend I'm Mike. I have a voice for it, so just imagine, ladies. It's been a pleasure this evening. Thank you for contributing, sharing your opinions and your experiences of your entrepreneurial career, your stories, and I want to share more of it.
I might pee myself right now. I don't. I'm trying
you
so
so-
hard not to lose it.
This
Thank
was
you.
so
Hey.
much fun. Thanks, Sia, for stepping
I really do got to work on
and
that.
helping to like
If I
secure
wasn't.
Mike. It was so good. And your offer, I seriously will follow up because
Ladies, please let's SPN each other. Let's
Let's do that,
each other.
yeah.
Yes.
And I know some police people to connect you to. So I've got my uncle is he's a retired police detective. And he's got his master's in criminal justice, and he's a retired Navy lieutenant something, and so I come from a family of law enforcement. So who do you want to talk to? What do you want to know?
Okay, wait, we're live now, but okay, we're gonna finish up real quick. So I'm going to interview a body language expert.
Oh, he loves that shit.
So your uncle would be the perfect follow-up, right? So
Yeah.
there's gonna be a body language expert, and then done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk
I'm
to
on
you
board.
later.
I'm gonna watch that one. I love everything about mannerisms and body language and poker tells. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, this is where you
Bye,
have to
everybody.
close it. You need to close it. Close it.
Bye.